Okay, we're out in the car today on a solo trip, a little mission. I'm basically going down to a monastery that I found 2 or 3 weeks ago down in the south of Georgia, right near the Armenian border. And I thought it would be a really cool trip to go and take you on. Okay, so this particular place actually was quite interesting because when I first found it on Google Maps, I thought that it was actually in Armenia, but it turns out that that border region was sort of reconfigured. It looks like 2 or 3 years ago, so not too long, and that basically the monastery now falls in the hands of Georgia, but it is former Armenian, and you can tell by the condition that it's in, and you can certainly tell by the roads that are around it, because I'm literally about 30 minutes out from this section of road, and it reminds me of Armenia. It's hilarious. So I pulled up, it's really near, I said to you, it's near Armenia, right? Pulled up, and then the border guards are obviously quite literally bored at the moment with it being 2 lockdown countries next to each other. Basically got an English guy on the phone and make sure that I was who I said I was, and then I was coming down here to film and to shoot. And they actually followed me to the door of the monastery. I couldn't get them on film, which is a shame because they were really obvious. It was so obvious, but they are at the top of the hill now, just watching me come down to shoot it. But I'm going to get on and shoot it. They're going to get bored because I'm actually going to stay here until the sun sets. So they're going to be totally bored by the end of this because it's 3 hours time. So yeah, it is funny, but yeah, they were surprised obviously to see a Brit. I mean, we are talking literally that mountain range there, that one there, and all the stuff behind the monastery here is actually in Armenia. So we are really close, and I can understand why they need to check. But it's a really nice one. Came here about 3 weeks ago actually, and checked it to see what it was like. But it started raining within about 2 hours of being here. So yeah, I've come down today to shoot it really, to do a further recce and get my proper shots and make sure it looks cool, which it does. It looks amazing. There isn't many like this at all, to be honest, where you've still got the, you know, there's actually trees growing out the back of it. So one thing I realised, That's my only tripod, which is annoying, right? So I'm going to have to try and take my shots with this same tripod and then get video content separately, which is a pain in the butt, right? I'm going to keep recceing this spot 2 or 3 times over the next couple of months because I want to get it at autumn with autumn colours. All this area will go orange. It's starting, if you look very carefully, some of the leaves are starting to go yellow already. So it's a weird weather climate here. So I understand that it would maybe happen earlier than some of the other parts of Georgia. So potentially September. So I'm going to come back again in about 3 weeks' time. And I reckon we're not far off, you know. The problem here is Google says 2 hours to get here. And it's really about 2 hours 30 by the time you mess around, you get the car over the, you know, the 4x4 over that bit of road you saw on the intro. And that makes a sunrise shot really awkward because we could leave in the night, you know, for the autumn, but I think getting here for sunrise is quite a challenge. You know, a good drive before we get here, and staying nearby is off limits really at the moment because it was the heaviest region with COVID-19 just until recently. So yeah, I'm going to crack on and shoot, and let's have a look what we've got here, but I hope you like this one. Welcome to the courtyard. There's never actually going to be any orange in here, any sort of autumn colours, because a lot of this is just brambles and raspberries. There is one tree and it is starting to turn yellow, but I don't think that affects the shot too much. I really like pointing the way just behind me here because of the red above the door, the kind of arches all overgrown, and the fact there's the Armenian text above the door as well. So that looks really cool. Inside there's then a dome, and we've never got a ceiling shot on this channel, so we're going to try and attempt to do that. It's a difficult one, hard to line up, and it's pretty dark in there, as you can see over my shoulder. So we're going to attempt to get that one. And finally, I'm going to get out there and line up my shots for autumn. Line up a couple of compositions ready for the upcoming visit. So kind of like a recce trip for the outside, but nail the inside. That's the whole point of today. Okay, so I was going to capture this shot with my tilt shift. Get the bottom bit of the dome, but there's too much like sky at the top. It actually looks better how I've got it composed in the camera here filming. So I'm actually going to change to my 24 to 70, my Tamron 24 to 70, and I'm going to compress the scene a little bit. Maybe I have to come back a tiny little bit with my tripod. Okay, so we've lined up the courtyard shot. Everything's kind of good to go. Just going to zoom out a bit there. I really like the shot. I like the foreground here. I like the kind of overgrown. f6.3. I'm at like 25 mil. I've kind of cropped off that kind of corner there. There was like loads of kind of like too much sky coming from over the top of the wall there. And I like the composition I've now got with the door in the centre and the 2 arches either side. And I've done 2 brackets only, just in case later on I want to, you know, I've got one lighter and one slightly, you know, about right, just in case I want to touch in any of the foreground and some of the leaves so you can actually see it's all overgrown, or perhaps even just inside that doorway a little bit as well. So I've got one bracket which is kind of a little bit over, and then one that's perfect. And that's kind of done. I mean, if I zoom all the way out, I've got too much kind of dead, like I said, too much sky up there, so I don't want to do that. And going in too far, that looks quite nice still, but again, same thing applies really, is perhaps I'm cropped too in, so I've now moved it to nearly 35 mil. I've shot the same shot again, but I don't know if I'm going to like it as much. So bring my camera all the way back here. Okay, so what I've done now is I've decided to bring my camera back, my tripod further back. I'm going to crop into 35mm, so zoom in a little bit, and then compress the scene a bit more. Kind of look like a bit more overgrown, you know, if I do that. So, you know, shoot through the scene, 35mm, like I said. And then I'm getting more kind of overgrown where that sky was a minute ago. So I'm kind of getting the two shots. The best of both worlds, if you will. Same thing in terms of framing things up. I've just done 2 brackets again. What I've now got is a little bit of a tree kind of here, the branch of this tree on the right. And it's kind of like covering that sky up for me, and it's framing the composition really nicely. I could come further out, but then the sky's kind of pulled back into my scene, so don't want that.
Hollow wood down into an open grave. Is there another way? Is there another way? And the nails pound.
I want to get the ceiling shot. I'm going to show you guys it in a sec. See if we move in. You can see how dark it is. It's incredibly dark in here. You can see me though, just about. We'll go with that. So I'm going to try and get the ceiling shot now while everything's in this sort of condition. First thing I'm going to do is change lenses. Tilt shifts, for all they're good, aren't exactly amazing at ceiling shots. They're not the best. Really difficult to line up, and it's too wide. It's got a tall ceiling, so I know for a fact I need to zoom in up on it. Again, having the geared head is going to help me with this. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get my geared head, and I'm going to actually put it into the downward position like this. Lock it in, make sure it's locked, and then I'm going to move my camera around, turn it around, and point it upwards. Make sure it's locked in, make sure it's nice and solid, and it is. And then we have the upwards position. We now have the same movements, of course, as we had prior. Exactly the same. So the border guards are getting aggy with me now. They're beeping, trying to hurry me up. It's like, I told them I'm going to be here till sunset. There's no rush. I'm taking photos. I think I'm going to have to come back yet again another day because the guards are getting arsey with me. They keep beeping and beeping and beeping. That's so annoying. So the first thing I did was walk outside and try to delay the inevitable. Shoot the exterior, if you will. I did manage to line up a couple of nice compositions which would help me out on a later trip. Story of my life, huh? Basically, after I talked to you about the border guards giving me hassle, I got back to the car, shot a couple more photos from the exterior of the monastery. I got back to the car, and then I put my keys down in the boot of the car, and then while I was doing this, the border guard leant on my boot and it swings shut. It's a swing boot, not a normal top-down boot, you know. And they shut my boot for me and locked my keys in my car. So after 2 hours of basically hassle trying to get it sorted, finding ways to break in, finding out the cost of a window, eventually, as you can see here, we had to break the window to get my keys. I've got a little clip put in there. It was quite funny watching them attempting it. It was tempered glass, so it wasn't working out very well. I think you need the gun. This is going in my YouTube video, you can tell it. No, I won't. I'm now going back to the border station so they can put cellophane in there, and the guy's doing me a discount on his mate in Tbilisi. getting me new window. Fucking hell. It's always me and cars. I have such disasters with cars, but at least here it doesn't cost a lot to sort these problems out. But it's bloody annoying. It turns out, according to this guy, that you need a permission slip to come here. Why he didn't just tell me that on the phone earlier so that I could just get on my way and go, I don't know, but I'm now crossing the field, following them back to the border post, and I think that's going to wrap up everything for today. Please like, subscribe and all that good stuff if you want to see more content like this, but also to find out the results of my window repair, which is going to be taking place in the next couple of days. Unbelievable. See you soon, guys. Bye bye.
Since the day I was born a fighter, I am a fighter. I am a fighter.
So join me next Thursday when we look to take that ceiling shot and see the autumn colours.